Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Morning Vibes with Maya and Arafat. It's a bright, sunny morning here in New York City. The sky is clear, the coffee is warm, and guess what? We have a special story today.
Yeah, a story that actually feels a little close to my heart.
Because you just got here, right? Our listeners already know. Arafat landed in the US just 3 days ago. How's it been so far? Jet lag, coffee overdose, or culture shock?
All of the above. Honestly, Maya, it's been like a dream that I can't tell if I'm living or still watching from far away. Everything feels new. The streets, the sound of people talking, even the smell of breakfast from cafes.
That's how every tourist starts. The first few days feel magical. But tell me, what's the first thing that really hit you when you walked out of the airport?
I think it was the air. It felt different, like cold and light at the same time. And people were moving so fast. Back home, things are slower, People talk before they rush. Here, everyone's running, even with coffee cups in their hands.
That's true. Welcome to America, where time is money, and even smiles are quick. Did anyone help you when you arrived?
Yes, actually. A taxi driver. I was trying to find the right way to my hotel and I must have looked so lost. He came over, smiled and said, "First time in New York, huh?" He gave me a few tips and I remember thinking, wow, even in this big, busy city, there's still kindness.
That's sweet. Sometimes we forget that kindness exists in the middle of all the noise. So, did you get to see any places yet? The Statue of Liberty, maybe?
Not yet. I've mostly been walking around, just observing people. Last night I stood near Times Square for an hour, just watching. The lights, the fate. Yes. Sometimes I wake up early, just to hear the city wake up. It's like I'm searching for something familiar in this unfamiliar place.
That's so poetic, Arafat. You're not just a tourist, you're a storyteller. Maybe this journey is about more than travel. Maybe it's about finding yourself in a new world.
Maybe. But I'll admit, I'm scared too. What if I can't fit in? What if people don't understand me, my accent, my culture?
Hey, listen. Everyone who's ever come here has felt that way. Even I did, years ago when I first moved from my small town. But you learn. You fall, you laugh, you cry, and you start again. That's the American way.
You make it sound so easy.
It's not. But the trick is, you keep showing up. Every morning. Every small moment. Even if your voice shakes. Even if you feel alone. One day you'll realize you belong here too.
Thank you, Maya. That means a lot. Sometimes a few kind words make a foreign place feel like home.
You're welcome, my friend. And that's why we do this show, to remind people that they're not alone. Whether you're a tourist, a dreamer, or someone just finding your way, this world is big, but hearts connect faster than planes.
That should be our slogan.
Oh, don't tempt me. I might actually use that in the next episode. Anyway, we're just getting started. In the next part, Arafat's going to share his first real morning adventure in America. Spoiler, it involves getting lost, meeting a stranger, and a coffee that changed everything.
Laughs. That's true, and it's a story I'll never forget. So, stay with us, everyone. You're listening to Morning Vibes with Maya and Arafat. See you after a short break.
Podcast Script, Part 2. Title: The Coffee Shop Stranger. Morning Vibes with Maya and Arafat of the Morning City Sounds. Car horns far away. Footsteps. Light jazz playing faintly from a cafe.
Welcome back, everyone, to Morning Vibes with Maya and Arafat. If you're just joining, our dear friend Arafat arrived in America a few days ago. And today, he's promised to tell us about his first real morning adventure. So, Arafat, what happened?
Oh, Maya, I still can't believe that morning actually happened. It was only my second morning in New York. I woke up early because I couldn't sleep. You know that strange silence we talked about last time? Yeah, it was there again.
That quiet kind of loneliness?
Exactly. So I thought, maybe I just need some fresh air. I grabbed my jacket, my wallet, and decided to walk around. The streets were almost empty, except for a few joggers and people walking dogs. The city felt peaceful for the first time.
That sounds beautiful already. So, where did you go?
I didn't have a plan, honestly. I just walked and followed the smell of coffee. And that's when I saw this tiny cafe. Wooden sign, warm lights, and this little bell that rang when you opened the door. It felt comforting, like something out of an old movie.
Oh, I can picture it. Did you go in?
Yeah, I did. The moment I stepped in, I heard jazz music. Soft saxophone, low and smooth. There were only 3 people inside. A man with a laptop, an old lady knitting, and a girl sitting near the window with a book. I ordered a coffee, black, no sugar, and sat in the corner.
And then?
And then the mistake happened. I was lost in thought, staring out the window, when suddenly I heard someone say, "Excuse me, that's my coffee." I looked down and realized I had taken the wrong cup.
Oh no, don't tell me you drank it already.
Half of it. It was a cappuccino with cinnamon, definitely not what I ordered. The girl from the window seat was standing there, smiling but also a little annoyed.
That's classic tourist behavior. What did you say?
I froze for a second, then said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm new here and I guess my taste buds are confused too." She laughed, and that laugh, Maya, it was so genuine, like she couldn't stay mad even if she wanted to.
So, who was she?
Her name was Emily, a student from Chicago visiting New York for a photography project. She said she could tell I wasn't from around here. Apparently my accent gave me away immediately.
Well, your accent is kind of cute, you know. So, did you two talk?
Yeah. At first, it was just small talk, where I'm from, why I came here, what she's doing in the city. But then it turned deeper. She told me she'd also felt lost when she first started traveling alone. She said, "You think you're running toward freedom, but sometimes you're just trying to find home somewhere else." That's really deep. I know that feeling so well. Me too. We talked for almost 2 hours about culture, loneliness, dreams, and coffee, of course. I told her how strange it feels to smile at strangers here. Sometimes they smile back. Sometimes they just walk away. Yeah, that's very American. People here live in their own bubbles. Exactly. Emily said, "It's not that they don't care, it's just that everyone's running from something." That line hit me hard. Because that morning I realized I wasn't just traveling. I was trying to escape the version of me that was afraid to live differently. Wow, that's powerful. So what happened next? Did you two stay in touch? She asked if I wanted to join her for a photo walk. We walked through small alleys, markets, even near a park with falling leaves. I remember this moment when she stopped to take a photo of an old man feeding birds. She looked at me and said, "See? Beauty doesn't need translation." And for some reason, my eyes got a little wet. You cried? Not exactly. It was just, you know when your heart suddenly feels full, like it's too much to keep inside? Yeah, I know that feeling. It's when life suddenly becomes real. Exactly. That morning changed something in me. For the first time, I didn't feel like an outsider. I was just a human being, sharing a small, beautiful moment with another human being.
That's what travel really means. It's not about the places. It's about the people you meet, the stories you carry, and the pieces of yourself you leave behind.
You said it perfectly. When I went back to the hotel that afternoon, I sat by the window with my half-cold coffee, and I smiled. Because even though I was far from home, for a few hours, I wasn't alone.
Arafat, that's beautiful. Sometimes I think we travel not to escape life, but to make sure life doesn't escape us.
Yeah. And that morning taught me that even a wrong cup of coffee can lead you to the right people.
That should be a movie title. The Wrong Coffee.
You know what, Maya? Maybe one day we'll make it one. And you can play the cafe owner.
Deal! But only if you promise to mess up the coffee order again.
Promise.
All right, friends. That was The Coffee Shop Stranger, Part 2 of our series, A Tourist's Heart in America. Next time, we'll dive even deeper, Arafat's first cultural shock, and how he almost missed a train, but found something far more meaningful instead.
Oh, you mean that day at Central Station? Yeah, that was wild.
You'll have to tell everyone next time. So, to all our listeners, wherever you are in the world, hold your cup of coffee close today. Maybe it's the start of your next great story.
You're listening to Morning Vibes with Maya and Arafat. See you in the next episode.
Podcast, Part 3, Distant Sound of a Train Station. Footsteps, announcements, faint echo of engines.
Welcome back, listeners, to Morning Vibes with Maya and Arafat. In our last episode, we left off with Arafat's beautiful coffee shop story and that unexpected friendship that made New York feel a little more like home. But today, things get a bit emotional. Right, Arafat?
Yeah, this one's different. It's not just a story about travel. It's about fear, connection, and fate, maybe.
Ooh, now you've got me curious. All right, start from the beginning. What happened?
Okay, so it was the next day after the coffee shop incident. I had plans to visit a nearby town, just a small trip, about an hour by train. I remember I was feeling confident, like, yeah, I got this. I can handle this city now. So I packed a small bag, left early, and went to Grand Central Station.
Ah, that place is massive. Even locals get lost there.
You're telling me? I walked in and... wow. The ceiling, the lights, the echo. It was overwhelming. Hundreds of people moving, all knowing where to go. Except me. I stood there for a full minute just staring at the departure board. Everything looked like a puzzle I couldn't solve.
Classic tourist moment again.
Exactly. So I went to the ticket machine, trying to buy my ticket. But the machine just beeped and said, "Invalid card." I tried again. Same thing. And suddenly the line behind me started getting longer. People sighing, checking their watches. I could feel my face getting hot. My hands were shaking.
Oh no, I've been there. That pressure is real.
Yeah, it's that helpless feeling, you know? You're trying your best, but everything's in a language, a rhythm that's not yours. I stepped aside, trying to stay calm, but I could feel tears coming. I didn't even know why. I wasn't sad exactly, just tired.
Overwhelmed.
Yeah. Then this old man, maybe in his 60s, came up to me. He wore a long coat and had this kind smile. He said, "First time traveling by train?" I laughed awkwardly and said, "Is it that obvious?" He smiled and said, "I've seen that look 1,000 times." Then, without asking, he helped me buy the ticket using his card. I tried to pay him back, but he said, "Just promise me you'll help someone else someday."
That's beautiful. It's crazy how strangers can be angels sometimes.
Yeah. He told me his name was Mr. Leonard. We ended up sitting together on the train. He talked about how he used to be a teacher, taught history for 30 years. And then he said something that stuck with me forever. He said, "You know, son, the world doesn't get smaller when you travel. It just gets more human."
Wow. That line gave me chills.
Yeah, me too. We talked for the whole ride. He asked about my family, my country, my dreams. I told him I wanted to make something meaningful. Not just a life, but a story. He nodded and said, "Then don't rush it. The best stories take time to write."
That's so true. Sometimes we rush through life, trying to get somewhere, but we forget to feel the journey itself.
Exactly. When we reached my stop, I thanked him again. He shook my hand and said, "Keep that smile. It'll open more doors than your passport." I got off the train, and as it pulled away, I saw him wave. And Maya, I don't know why,
Because you felt seen, maybe. Sometimes it's not about what people do for us, but the way they remind us we're not invisible.
Yeah, that's exactly it. In that one short train ride, I felt like I had a father figure again. Someone reminding me that I was okay, that I belonged somewhere, even if I was far from home.
You're going to make me cry on air again. Arafat, I think every traveler has that one moment when a stranger's kindness changes everything.
Yeah. It's funny, isn't it? You come to a new country expecting to find landmarks, photos, excitement. But what really stays in your heart are faces and words.
Exactly. And that's what makes your story so special. It's not about the destination. It's about the connections that shape who you become.
You always know how to say the right thing, Maya.
Well, maybe I've had my own Mr. Leonard moments too. I remember when I was new here, I got lost on the subway once. A lady noticed I was panicking and she just sat next to me and said, "Honey, you're fine. We've all been lost once." I never forgot that. Sometimes one sentence can lift a whole heart.
That's true. Maybe being lost isn't so bad after all. Maybe it's how we find the people we were meant to meet.
I love that thought. You know, Arafat, I think your journey here isn't just about exploring America. It's about exploring yourself, who you are when no one knows your name.
Yeah. And that's the hardest part. Being your own home when home is far away.
That's deep, but you're doing great. And I think your story gives hope to so many who feel lost right now. Travelers, immigrants, students, everyone trying to belong somewhere.
If even one person listening feels less alone after hearing this, then maybe that's what I came here for.
And that is exactly why we...
Beautifully said, Maya. And don't forget, next episode we're talking about homesickness and hope. That one might get emotional too.
I'll bring tissues. You're listening to Morning Vibes with Maya and Arafat. Stay kind, stay curious, and keep your heart open. See you in the next episode. Welcome back, dear listeners. This is Morning Vibes with Maya and Arafat. And today's episode is a little quieter than usual. Because, well, sometimes life slows down. Sometimes the heart just wants to talk softly.
Yeah. This one's close to my heart. It's been 2 weeks now since I came to America, and I've realized something. Travel isn't just about moving through places. It's about moving through feelings.
That's beautifully said. So, what kind of feelings have been visiting you lately?
All of them. Excitement, curiosity, and lately, loneliness. You know that quiet ache that sneaks in when you're doing fine? It's like homesickness wearing a new disguise.
Yeah, I know that ache. So, what does homesickness feel like to you?
It feels like the smell of my mum's cooking that I can't find here. The sound of my sister laughing in the next room. The call to prayer echoing from the mosque near our house. It's all those little things that built my world. and now they're gone. Sometimes even the silence of my hotel room feels like it's missing someone.
That's heartbreakingly real. You know, people think homesickness is just missing your house, but it's really about missing the version of yourself that belonged somewhere.
Yes, exactly that. I miss the me who didn't have to think twice before speaking. The me who understood every face around me. Here, everything feels like a test. Language, customs, even emotions.
Yeah. Being in a new world and make you feel invisible sometimes. You walk through crowds and no one knows your story. But maybe that's also a chance to rewrite it.
You sound like a poet, Maya.
Maybe I am. Or maybe your story is making me one.
Laughs quietly. That's the magic of sharing, isn't it? When you speak your truth, someone else feels less alone. That's why I love doing this podcast with you. It feels safe, real.
I feel the same. You know, when I first came to New York, I cried in my tiny apartment for 3 nights straight. I missed my mom, my hometown, the smell of rain back home. I even missed the noise of the street dogs outside my window. It took me months to realize missing home doesn't mean you don't belong here. It just means your heart is big enough for both places.
That's really beautiful, Maya. Maybe that's what I'm learning too. Home isn't just one place. It's the people who make you feel understood.
Exactly. And sometimes you meet those people in the most unexpected corners of the world. Like a kind taxi driver, an old man on a train, or a stranger in a coffee shop.
Laughs softly. You remember all my stories better than I do.
Of course I do. Because each of them reminds me why I started this show. To remind people that being human is messy and beautiful at the same time.
And that even when you're far from home, you can still find little pieces of it everywhere. In a smile, a sunset, or a warm cup of coffee.
Yes. That's hope, isn't it? Not that everything's perfect, but that you keep believing something good is waiting tomorrow.
You're listening to Morning Vibes with Maya and Arafat. We'll see you next time.
Good night, or good morning, wherever you are.